going on, everybody? This is Pastor C, Pastor Cannon Greer, and I am here with some amazing, wonderful people, and we are bringing to you a conversation on singleness entitled Party of One. So listen, I want you all to sit back, relax, because we're going to have a raw and honest conversation on what it is to be single, to be young, to be black, all that type of stuff in between. So I'm super, super excited. So this is what I want y'all to do. I just want you starting with the young lady in the back, and we're going to go over. I just want y'all to introduce yourselves so people at home can know you.
I'm Olivia.
All right, my name is Matthew.
I'm Bianca.
Drew.
I'm Kristen.
I'm mad that all y'all did like a real world, like, my name is Matthew. You want first or last? Okay.
You want to do it again a little more?
Nah, we good. We gonna make it work. Listen, man, I'm super excited. I'm super excited because I honestly felt like this conversation needed all of their personalities and needed their individualness, because these are very special people, and I honestly love them more than what they actually know. So I'm super excited to have this conversation with them. And that's no cap. I know Kristen was looking like, I really do love y'all. So listen, this is how we're going to start this thing. It has to be honest. It has to be raw. It got to be open. And if it's funny, it's funny. But if it's real, it got to be real. All right, so this is the first question. How do you all think the church views singles?
I think the right word.
It's very tense now.
Right.
Very tense.
I think like a special case almost, like we're a special case.
Like you're a special case?
Like you're a special case, so like those are the singles. And like our eyes are on you, you know, type of, okay, you know, we gotta cater to you. Well, and then they don't even really cater to you that much, but that's all.
So wait a minute. So you're saying that you feel like the church, the local church, not the body of Christ, the local church as an organization looks at you all as a special case. What does that mean?
So like, because they're not single anymore, they're married, they don't know how to, they don't know how we think, or forgot the headspace that we're in. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Anybody?
I was just gonna say that word right there, forgotten. I think like singles get forgotten a lot. It's either, you know, there's like, I feel like sermons get preached like people are married, or like they try to like, I guess, push you towards marriage, and then like, you kind of get looked at funny if you're single, right?
Yeah.
And then like as a single, being in the church, you see all these married couples together, or young couples that are like maybe not married, they might be engaged, or they might be dating, or something. But like you're single, you're just a person, you're kind of just there.
So do you feel like a lot of times the local church ostracizes singles? Do you feel like the group in church that has leprosy?
No, what they do is they make a market for it. So it's like you're like all the singles are in a market. So it's like, and then like the married couples will like, oh, like we love her, like let's mentor her, and then they'll do all these like marketed events, like singles night, ladies night, and it's like so cheesy.
But
God forbid you go talk to somebody in the lobby. God forbid you talk to somebody in the lobby.
Then they like a big thing
Oh girl, I saw that.
Right.
Marriage.
But you know what? I agree.
Yes.
I do believe that there is a rule in church that if you sit beside somebody more than 3 times, you date them.
Exactly.
That's an unspoken rule. Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I remember when me and my wife were like talking and chilling or whatever. Like, I remember after the 3rd time somebody saw us sit together, somebody came up to me and was like, what y'all got going on? It's like, yo, I could just be kicking it with Shorty. Like, this is literally my friend. But those are the rules. And I think what Olivia just said, it was like, ooh, girl, I saw that XYZ. Because I think a lot of times, sometimes when married people see single people, they automatically want them to be married because they think that singleness is a lower class status.
Yeah.
And they
Exactly.
exhibit like the
They
woman.
I'm sorry. I was about to say, like, they feel like you can't hang out with them anymore. Like, if you are that single friend, like, oh, I'm married now. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel that. I get it. But let me ask you this as well. Let me ask you this. What's the biggest struggle being a Christian millennial and being single?
I think it's the pressure. Like, there's a lot of pressure to do right. Like, you know, when you're single, of course, it's like, you better not be having no sex. you better make sure you read your Bible. You better make sure you come to church because you gotta find your husband in church.
And make sure you serve too.
Yeah, you gotta make sure. The pressure of things is like amplified times 10 just because I'm single and I ain't got a man.
So do you think? Okay, here we go. Let me ask you this: do you think it's a legalistic approach, or is it accountability from the church's end to help singles stay in a very safe place? Go ahead. Talk about it.
I was saying so I think it's they try to pass it off as accountability, but it's from a legalistic approach because they don't understand. Okay, you're single, they've been married for 20 years, plus years, whatever, and they're trying to apply their wisdom, their knowledge without sitting in the 26-year-old's place or 30-year-old's place or whatever. And going from that motion, going from that point of view, they're trying to look at it from their point of view at this age because they think this is.
But I do also think that you have to be, you have to have different lenses and different perspective because everybody's struggle is different. Right. Like I do think that a lot of times in a lot of singles ministries, we approach every single as if their struggle is sex.
Yes.
Yes.
And even though sex is a very, very strong struggle, I get that. But there are some single people who might have a desire to do that one day with their husband or with their wife, but they good now. And I think a lot of times we create events, we create conferences centered around celibacy, purity, holiness. And the thing about it is, we end up driving the desire up even more. When I'm just trying to focus on the Lord, you got me focusing on not doing anything. So let me ask you this: like, what else is another struggle for because being a millennial is totally different from any other generation. So what is that like being a millennial and now being single and in the church? I think that's a very complicated thing that we can continue to dialogue about.
I think it gets confusing because it's like you're saved, but you live in the world, but you're not of the world. So you're trying to date, but you're also not like living in La La Land. Like, oh, he's gonna ride in on a white horse, and I'm supposed to sit in the house, and Jesus is gonna say, "Get up, go to the door." Yes. Y'all don't want me to do nothing because you're like, oh, well,
that's good.
We want because the thing is like Drew said, it's legalistic. There's a lot of pressure as women to look like the perfect wife.
Yeah.
But what does that look like? Because to you, like me doing any can I go here? Can I say this?
Can I look like
what
this?
Does that look like?
Can I go
You're not with me regardless. But another thing is like when you create singles as like a market, it's almost like when you're in the church and you serve and everyone knows that you're young and single, you're representing almost their brand. So if you don't match the brand, you're constantly like policing yourself.
She's truth-telling.
So like I spent years policing myself, and it was crazy because no one told me to, but they conditioned me to. So my mentor is not really my mentor. What you're doing is you're making sure I'm good because you know my struggles and you know where I stand and you know I got common sense. But at the same time, it's like I'm not really being myself, and also y'all ain't teaching me how to date. Yeah. Y'all just sending me to these events that I don't even go to because I don't like the men.
Oh, right. It's teaching. Teach them how to date. Teach them how to date.
No one teaches. Like seriously, think about. I know so many girls who don't know how to talk to guys. I mean, sure, I sometimes do.
But okay. Let's stay right there.
That's ridiculous.
What does that mean? That you don't know how to talk to a guy? What does that mean?
You live in La La Land, so like he talking to you and you planning your wedding.
Exactly. The false realities that you create. And you can get stuck on that. But the narratives that you create.
But is that the church or is that how we are groomed from children?
Both.
Both.
Both. Because they sell it online. Like there are a lot of Christian women online that sell this like, this is how me and my husband met. Like this is
my fasting for 90 days.
Like, girl, I'm you. That ain't me.
I pray.
That ain't me.
It came in a dream.
Listen, man. Hey, listen. I thank y'all for rebuking me. I really do. I'm thanking y'all because I take this as a rebuke because I do think that sometimes in our wanting to help people, that we can kind of come off as if this is how we did it, and not understanding that somebody may take your ass. Oh, that's what I want. That's what I'm going to have. It's like, for example, like loving basketball set an expectation for so many girls playing basketball. Like, I promise you, how many young ladies or how many guys possibly saw that movie and was hooping and literally thought, I'm I'm gonna lose my virginity this way. Maxwell gonna be in the background. It's gonna be just like that. We're gonna go to the same college and all of that. And it's like, no, player, this is a movie. But I think a lot of times as ministry, we sell marriage as a movie.
And that's the couples too. Like the couples, them putting themselves online together, and that's no. There's no problem in that. But I think like how they brand the couples. It's like, oh, I want to be like pastor this and pastor that.
Bro, listen. When I tell you, and I'm being transparent. Like that's one of the reasons why. Like now, me and my wife will take a picture, but I'm very slow with like the whole doing content. Not because I don't want to do content with my wife, but like I understand that pressure. Because you really look online and you see like these ministry couples, you really think that they are perfect. And it's just like, bro, I know it ain't like that.
Right.
I know it's not because, bro, I just understand ministry. I know it's not like that. So let me ask you this. So how do you all deal with the image of marriage in church?
I don't.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Come on, talk about it.
It's that simple to me, and like it kind of plays into what Olivia said about how they teach you like what a wife should look like, and it kind of goes into that conflict too that you have as being a millennial, because Christ will teach you like a certain standard for being a wife. You have to cook. You have to be submissive. I have a problem with it. I have a problem with that word. I struggle with that word. Because as a millennial, I'm also taught like I'm my own woman. If I don't want to cook, I ain't cooking. You cook your own food. If I don't want to clean, but you clean my clothes too. Like I need my clothes clean.
That's real.
I'm saying, can I get a week off? That's all I'm saying.
But I think submission has been taught wrong. I remember I did a sermon here during our Boot Up series last year, and I talked about how Paul just doesn't say wives submit to your husbands. There's in Ephesians talk about husband and wives submit to one another, and there is and I look at it like this, and I use an example. I look at it as two people who are rushing to be number two. That's what submission is. It's two people rushing to be number two. It's two people rushing to say, here, you be number one. No, you be number one. No, you be number one. When you have that, that's what submission looks like. It's like I'm constantly serving you. Yeah. But I think the thing is that sometimes in being submissive, there's times where it doesn't feel good. There's times where it's not always comfortable. You don't always want to clean. You don't always want to cook. As a man, you don't always want to do certain things, but remember, like you're submitting to your wife. And then the thing about it is submission should always be taught, I'm submitting to Christ in you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm not submitting to you. I'm submitting to Christ in you. So when you say something with an attitude and I don't like it, I have to have the discernment to see that that's not you. I'm going to see the Jesus in you. Because ladies, y'all know, I'm sure that one day, or you probably seen it with your mama probably got mad at your daddy and was like, I don't want to cook for this man, but I'm going to go in the kitchen and I'm going to cook. Not because that's the woman thing to do, but the man can't cook, y'all going to starve. Like for me, like listen, right now, I'm trash in the kitchen. There's nothing, you're only going to get some cereal, you're only going to get a nice breakfast, possibly some spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the anointing on my life yet. I'm a girl in it though, I promise you. But I just think we've seen bad models a lot of times. Not calling our parents bad. I'm not saying that. We're talking about from a church perspective. I remember Dave sent me a tweet, and I don't know if you remember this, bro. It was a tweet that was saying that this generation can't relate to church because they can't relate to a place to where it took up all of our parents' time, but they never saw any private transformation. And a lot of people can't relate to that because it's like my mama was always there, but when she got home, right. So growing up, how did you picture your life when it came to relationships?
I thought it was gonna be easy.
Hoodwink.
Yeah. I was going to graduate high school, meet somebody in college, get married after college, by like 25 with a job and picket fence, all that. And
I was gonna say my high school sweetheart. I was like, I've invested my 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years.
Right.
Right. Like I thought like that was gonna be it. I didn't have no clue I was gonna be sitting here at 30 still like where you at?
Yeah.
Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. But I think the thing is, I just think that we've been taught to create expectations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put expectations on work.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we've been taught to this. I always thought like, you had to get a diploma, go to school, get a job, get married, have children, and then that's the American dream. But the thing about it is, like, it's a never-ending thing.
Right.
You never are satisfied.
Right.
So my question is to you all: how, as single people, how do you all find satisfaction in yourselves in this season?
So for me, I have friends who are married, and I'm like so grateful for my friends who are married. Like, I can't relate when people say their friends box them out when they get married. If anything, I'm like, girl, you sure your husband want me to come over again today? I was just there yesterday. Like, y'all sure y'all want me to be a part of this? So like, I'm so grateful for people who like include me, because it lets me see like, okay, yes, I'm single, but then I also get to see young couples who have families and are building. So I get the best of both worlds, because like I know that I'm not there yet. But also I appreciate the fact that I'm not there, because I see their struggles as well, because they're very transparent. Because like it's very easy to not be present in your season, so like I'll be there, but in my head I'm like, man, like if only like I could just fast forward and like things get along, like I really want a partner, I really want to be a mom, like those are desires that so strong. So for me, surrounding myself with people who are both single and married, like with children as well.
And I've kind of been guilty of that. I've kind of been like, yo, you have to watch out for getting advice from single people. I mean, I'm being honest. Y'all being real, I'm being real. I'm just being honest. Because I get to you like this. When I was a teenager, I could literally preach on marriage from the Bible. I could tell you exactly what Paul said. But it's going to be skewed because I'm not in it. I don't have the experience of it. And I think a lot of times, not all, because the wisdom that you have isn't based on the status that you're in. If that makes sense, right? So just because you're single doesn't mean you don't have wisdom on marriage, right? But I think a lot of times, I've also seen the other side where, and I say from a man's perspective, a single man has a hard time telling a married man how to deal with certain situations. I can say from my own friends' lives that I've helped to get through certain seasons of marriage, that if I was single, I know I wouldn't have seen it a certain perspective, because I'm not in it. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that God can give me the wisdom to speak to it. So I'm just speaking to the mindset. Box out your single friends. I know that's something that I've had to change my mind on. So real quick, I want to ask you all another question. What has singleness taught you so far?
I would say,
go ahead.
I would say being content within my singleness, and finding comfort in Jesus.
What does that mean? Break that down for the people, because we get it because we speak Christianese. But what does that mean to be content in Jesus? What? Christianese. That's real. I'm gonna teach a series called Christianese, because it's certain terms that we use that like, baby, you got to be content in Jesus. What the heck does that mean, bro? I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? So what does that mean?
For me, it's just trusting Him and knowing like it's going to happen in time. And when we're so focused on, oh my gosh, I want to be in a relationship, like you start making, for me, I was making irrational decisions. I was getting stuck in a cycle, and it just, at one point I was like, I need this to break. And just focusing on Him more and listening to Him, being still in Him, and doing what's best for me right now and what I needed to grow in and what I need to learn. So now I even look at being in a relationship differently, or even going about dating in a healthier perspective.
Right. So what has singleness taught you?
Yeah, I mean, just going piggybacking off of contentment, learning that. That's probably been one of the biggest things. Is just so like for me, that's kind of just expressing gratitude. And just like every day, just reminding myself of other things that I'm grateful for. And like sometimes it can be hard though, because like you get into the moment of like, you want this or you want that, but like it leaves you in this frustrated place. But I also started looking at like all the things that I can do. Like,
Stay right there. What are the benefits of singleness? Go.
Alright, like, God for me, obviously we can't go nowhere right now, but if this corona and all that,
right.
literally I can get a plane and go to San Fran right now.
Right.
And not
You
have
know,
to think about
right,
anybody else. I'm
nobody-
only responsible for myself
Talk
right
about it.
now.
Come on, keep
Stack
talking.
my money up as
Come
much
on.
as I can. Like I got so much flexibility right now, and it's like I get the opportunity to just like, and I really like being by myself. I do. Like I do.
Listen, let me tell you something. There is no better place than being by yourself. I love my wife. I love my son. But let me tell you something. I can put my headphones in, walk around South Park Mall, and just experience the glory of the Lord. By myself.
You have to enjoy being by yourself.
You do. You really do.
Because you know what makes you happy as well. And you can fuck someone like
Sure, you scratch your head. Come on. You don't like to scratch that? Come on.
I mean, one, I'm an only child, so that
I am too.
I know that's what I'm like.
I love it.
It's like 30%. It's like 30%. It's like 30% that I like to be by myself. And then it's the other 70% I feel like I have to, like I want to be around other people. And I feel like kind of it's because I feel like I have like a community gift of sort of, but being able to,
But to piggyback off what you're saying, I feel like being an only child, I had the best of both worlds in my opinion. I could go to somebody's house, but I can come home and I'm by myself. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can go kick it. But then when I come home,
when I'm depleted. Okay, it's good that I'm by myself. When I'm like depleted, end of the day or whatever. Okay, well I'm fine chilling, watching this, whatever. But the other 70%, nah, I need to be outside. I need to go doing somewhere. I need to go to Matt's crib. Somebody's doing something. So. But I can't taste it.
So just being by yourself, it's not cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, and it's not like from a relationship, like I need a girl or whatever. It's more so just I like this.
Me too. Yeah. I love being around people, especially during this time. Yeah. I'm like, yo, I love people. I always love people, but it's back about 100.
Like if I can get this 4 days out the week, cool, and the other 3, I'll be at the crib.
No, let me tell you something. I'm a little good too. Listen, bro. I don't know, man. Okay, so Christian, what you think?
What has my singleness taught me?
No, what are the benefits of being single?
You learn how to just trust. Like that's a hard. I feel like I keep saying that's a hard word for me, but whatever. Yeah. It's a hard word because it's hard. It's hard for me to trust people, and so in being transparent and being honest, that also means it's hard for me to trust God. Like I have to legitimately trust. Don't hype me up.
Nah, that's good. That's good teaching. That's good teaching. Come on, that's good teaching.
But I legitimately have to trust God. I have to trust that when I'm looking at every single one of my friends that are married, have children, engaged, like have these desired lifestyles that I want, you kind of fall into this place of, but God, why I ain't?
Come on now.
Really?
Come on.
I'm like, I was ready to fuss my husband out by the time I meet him because I'm like, what took you so long?
Hey, but that's real though. That's real. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I find myself having to say, God, you know the desires of my heart, but I have to walk in His desires and not mine because He knows what's better for me. And it's like I have this image of who my husband is. It's like I have this image of who my husband is, and I have this dream of the lifestyle that I want, but I am trusting that God is going to deliver that times 10.
But I think that's the thing though. I think that it's tough, but it's necessary that before you get married or get in a relationship, you have to learn how to depend on God and God alone.
Yes.
Because I promise you, what you think your spouse is supposed to provide, you won't have it. Yes, don't get me wrong. They're supposed, yes, you want love, and yes, you want. And the thing about it is, sometimes we have an expectation of how they're supposed to deliver the love that we want. I want love like this, but if they don't know how to communicate that, you're going to either have to allow the Lord to work on them and teach them, at the same time because we all have love languages. My wife's love language is quality time. Mine is words of affirmation. You ain't got to spend time with me. You ain't got to just tell me I'm doing okay. My wife, she just want to sit there. Now in my mind, I'm sitting here. We spending time. This is quality time, but no, she want me locked in. And she want to talk about everything. Eyes locked. Well, you know, I got some chicken today for $60, and I gotta just sit there and take it, but like that. Yeah. But I also think that there are going to be times in a relationship where the thing that I need, maybe the person that I'm married to is depleted because they're dealing with something.
Yeah.
And if you can't get it when you want it, then you may say, oh my gosh, this marriage is da da da. It's like, no, I can get whatever I need from the Lord. Mm-hmm. You can get 24-hour-a-day attention from the Lord, 7 days a week. That doesn't give our spouses or our future spouses an excuse to act any way they want to, but it just means that they're not our source for happiness. Because one thing I heard Will Smith say, he was like how he doesn't believe that that two people should be dependent on one another. He believes that two people should be totally content in who they are. Yeah. And then when they come together, then that'll make a successful marriage, because when one person is down, what's gonna happen to you? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you all this. Okay, go ahead.
I was just thinking of like one of some more of the other benefits is like being able to really hear from God like during this time.
Yeah.
Like
Paul talks about that too.
Learn how God.
Paul talks about that. Yeah.
And like for me, I know like in this season, like I know God is like revealing some things like idols in my life, right?
Come on,
even like having these idols of like what my wife should look like, or like what she, like what. It's just
That's the one right there.
Right. It's like you gotta tear that stuff down.
But that's good though that you call it an idol.
Yes.
Because some people would just call it a desire. But you end up worshiping. Yeah. You end up worshiping your own idea of the woman, guys.
And that's you so headstrong. I need that. I need that. And it's like you get so like almost like nah. You see people that could be, and it's like nah. This is it.
But you get a missing out, right?
Yeah. You could be just missing out, but it's like that.
That's go ahead.
Then I have to another benefit is being able to watch married people and learn from their experiences or whatever. Like what I wouldn't do. Like I have friends that are married, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Or whatever.
Right.
And being able to just take them like, and apply that to whenever I get married.
Because that's a good thing, because I'm going to tell you something. You have to pick and choose what you learn from married people. Just because it worked in my marriage don't mean it's going to work in yours. Don't mean it's going to work, just because it worked in yours don't mean it's going to work in mine. But I think this is the thing as pastors. We have to stop taking things from our own home and making it doctrine.
Yeah.
I can't take something that I apply with me and my wife and then preach it to Bianca and say, this is what you should look for.
Because it works.
Right.
Yeah, now I can give you the example and I can teach you the principle. Because the principle is this. Let's say I'm teaching on how to listen. Right. I can't tell you need to find a spot every single day and go there and talk. And if you don't do that, your marriage is not going to work. The principle in that is find time to talk. But you don't have to do what I just told you to do. That's what we do. Y'all time might be, maybe y'all like playing, y'all like watching NBA together. Or y'all like watching something on TV. Like I know me and my wife, what we try to do, we try to find a show and we watch it together, which opens up the door for conversation. Because I'm going to tell you something, when Power, now listen, for all you saints who don't watch certain shows, I'm sorry. But I'm going to tell you something, when Power was on, me and my wife, we talk all the time. We went from Power, we talk about everything else. We always talk, I'm saying, it was always something to talk about. My wife would get up in the morning, man, did you remember that episode last night? It was always something to talk about. So that was just one of the ways to help stimulate conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you something, there's going to be some days where it's like, you ain't mad, you ain't angry, but y'all just ain't talking. Don't mean there's bitterness in the house. Don't mean, but so it's like, but then after that, you're going to be like, wait a minute, I need to talk to my wife. Because this is the key, fellas. You don't talk to them. Someone else will. I'm just being honest. I'm not agreeing with cheating. I'm just saying. Just being honest. Whether it's a man or a woman, you got to make sure that you have the communication open. So let me. I'm just being real. So let's do this. What are some ways that the local church can serve singles? What are the needs that singles need from the local church?
Community without pressure. Like community with other singles without pressure. Like it's a singles night. You going to singles night? You gonna meet such and such? No, I don't need that. Like you're putting unnecessary eyes on it. Like that's the single. That's what you can be. Just like put the same amount of effort that you would in other areas of your ministry into the singles category. Don't even call it singleness. Just call it community or.
Well, let me ask you this, because I agree with you, but I want to see the other side of it. So you don't think that there should be singles events at church?
Yeah, but don't call it like I wouldn't say don't have a singles ministry. Figure out another synonym that describes the singleness or whatever, and make that the ministry, because it's tapped. When you hear singleness, it's like you automatically think of certain things.
So it goes back to what Olivia was saying, the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to how you market it.
Right.
So I feel that. What are some other things? What are some other things the local church can do? Because I really want Ready to like serve everybody in every season of life. So I'm literally just taking notes right now on what we can do to help people in the area, in any area of life.
No corny game night.
No corny game night. Game nights are cool though. Okay, so what about this? What if it wasn't a singles game night? What if it was just a regular game night and everybody could come?
I would go to that.
I would
That's
do that
the key.
too.
Don't call
Right.
it singles.
I think
game.
that puts even more pressure on it because it's a singles game.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I gotta talk to you now.
Yeah.
Like,
But let me throw this at you. Why is it that the world can do speed dating, but the church can't have an alternative to that?
They don't need to
Kids
do
don't
that
believe
either.
that.
So speed dating is wrong too?
The world don't need to be doing that either.
She said worldly.
Church don't need to be doing that. The world don't need to be doing that.
Okay, so speed dating that. So y'all, so like.
I'm not into that.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that puts even more pressure.
It's the pressure. That's
Right.
what right. Like what we need is the pressure taken off. Because
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with speed dating because I don't think you should be speeding while you're dating. That's just me personally. Just say.
Like having more open, honest, like conversations about
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah, I feel
that
you.
impact.
I mean, I cut you out. What were you about to say?
Well, no, it's just like the whole, like the church can have events, but it's the pressure that you feel from those events. Because it's almost like they have these events to hurry up and get you married.
Right.
So they know you're not in trouble. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, he out here. Let's
He
get
inside the club.
Olivia is really exposing out here because that's the truth.
It's the truth.
Because one thing that I hate, listen, I'm all for accountability.
Yeah.
Yes.
But accountability is more than me checking on you to see if you haven't sinned.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not accountability. Accountability is, hey, you know you're the righteousness of God in Christ, right?
Exactly.
That's what accountability is. I'm holding you accountable to who you are in Christ. I'm reminding you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and this is the thing, if you so-called fall in your flesh in that standard, I'm reminding you that you're still in that standard. Like, it's almost like accountability is part of like, yo, did you watch porn today?
Because we got a wrong view of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Oh, talk about it, sir. You said it. You gotta talk about it. That's
When
good.
you said that, because when you said it's convicting of directionless, we go back and we think that the Holy Spirit convicts us of sin. He
Right.
convicts us
Of righteousness.
So
That's Jude Muzan, everybody. He's a prophet. Go ahead. Continue to talk.
nah, but so yeah, and the main I'm bringing scripture.
Now, come on.
John 16:8.
Yeah.
Everybody, sin, righteousness, and judgment. The Holy Spirit convicts of sin, righteousness, and
Come
judgment.
on.
And it says He convicts the world of
Come
sin.
on.
But you, I will convict of righteousness
Come on.
because I've disappeared. I've gone up to
Come
heaven,
on.
and you need somebody to remind you.
Right.
So instead of looking at accountability as sin management, it needs to be okay, righteousness, consciousness.
Yeah.
So I need to tell
So
you.
we need to be reminding each other of our righteousness, and when you remind somebody of their righteousness, then sin will take care of itself. And honestly, it's nobody's business that what I'm doing.
Ain't no
Hello.
It's really not.
You're
You
still
know?
planted in Christ.
Right. Exactly. So okay. So I just want to, like, for 2 more minutes, like, what are some other needs that you all need from the local church?
Now that accountability part, I mean, but like in that sense, and how you explain it, I think it's important too, especially for me, because sometimes, it's hard.
Yeah. Right.
My brother may want to like risk it all some days where I'm like, throw my hands up and be like, what's the purpose of it, right? But like in those moments, though, like in those moments, being able to come to you and be like, hey man, what's the purpose of me doing this?
So I think yes, and I think the thing is that I can say that what I, in the name of Jesus, that Ready Church will provide for everybody is transparency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I do think that we hide
Yeah.
the things that were bad when we were single.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and that's why, like, somebody asked me one time, like, dude, you kind of overdo it on this whole porn thing. Like, it's like, bro, because I overdid it. So what you want me to, what you want me to do? Like, because I believe that people need to know that I did struggle, that I had issues, and like I was really out here. That I was really out here trying to do any and everything with everybody. Because, like you said, it's hard. It can be hard. And my job is to point you back to Jesus. But at the same time, that doesn't knock the desires that we have. You know what I'm saying? Because they're real. They're real desires. I remember one time I went to a singles event, and the first question they asked was masturbation. Like, what about masturbation isn't wrong? And when I tell you the pastor flipped, he was like, it's about holiness. It's about righteousness. It's about right living. God damn, right? Like, yo, we know that, bro. But this person is like, it's like, yo, they really had a question. And we know righteousness and holiness. But it's like, yo, how do I take that and apply it to this area? Because it's easy for you to teach that when you got legs and thighs and biceps and triceps going home too. It's easy to teach that. It's easy to. Is it the triceps?
Well, I mean, girls can have triceps.
Okay, I'm sorry. You got that at the moment. Yeah, right. It's so easy to teach holiness and righteousness when you're going home to somebody at night. That person, and the thing about it is, when you get married, you're supposed to have your options cut off. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm teaching now. What do you do as a single when I got options? You know what I'm saying? What do you do? It's like, yeah, you going home to that one person, but I got a starting vibe over here. Right. Starting vibe, and I got about 5 text messages at this little Christian event. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Being honest, because that's real. So even with that, let me ask you all this, and we'll conclude it with this. What are singles supposed to do for fun?
You don't sit around and talk about Jesus. You have girls Bible study and eat like tea cake.
And that's the thing. I think it's about being led by the Holy Spirit in your own life. Right. So, don't dictate to me that I can't go here, and here, because I'm not bound by the letter of the law no more.
Right.
It's by the Spirit.
Right.
Yeah. So if the Spirit say I can go to this bar, then I'm not gonna go to this bar.
Right.
But it ain't none of your business if I go to this bar because I'm still righteous of God.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think so. Sometimes I think sometimes the church can really have good intentions because they just want people to live the best life that they can. But I think we get in trouble when we start to dictate and say, you can't go here because the Spirit of God will follow you in there. That's a lie. Right. The Holy Spirit is in me. He is working through me at all times. So let me ask you this. When it comes to what singles can do or can't do, we shouldn't even say that. It's not about what you can and can't do. It's about what you should or shouldn't do because you have liberty in Christ. Right. So I don't like saying like singles can't do this. No, you can't because you are free in Christ. But what are some suggestions? What in your own lives? What is it that you do to keep your mind occupied or I guess to defeat loneliness? Mm-hmm. What are some things that you all do to not get in that space?
I do affirmations every day.
That's
so every day that I leave the house, I'm incredibly intentional because I think that a lot of times it's almost like women are taught to almost look for their husbands, but you have to divorce that idea that you're looking. Because what I do is I leave the house and I tell myself I'm the prize and I meet high quality men every day I leave the house. Even if it's just putting me at the gas station.
Yes.
You better talk. You better talk. You better repeat that shit one more time. I like that.
I seriously I tell myself that so that means that when I go outside I try to look my best and it's not even that I'm looking for anybody, but what happens is you show up as what you desire. So people, you're a magnet for what you desire. Yeah. Because a lot of women think there's no man, there's no good man. That's not true.
That's right.
You're coming from a place of lack when you need to think abundant.
Oh!
But that's real. I tell my homegirls this all the time. You can't say that around me. We gotta change our talk. We gotta change our talk. Because listen, if it can happen for some of the people I see, no shade, no tea. I know it can happen for me.
Exactly.
So
but I'm gonna have you teach on Sunday morning. That's good.
But then like she was saying, like coming out of the house, like dressed in a certain way. I remember like 2016. I was bound by like, okay, I don't know who I'm gonna meet today. I'm just dressed fresh because I might see Shorty today. And I used to do that. I used to be bound by that, like bound by like thinking about that, and then get hurt when she wouldn't show up, when nobody would show up. Okay, so let me deal with that. That's good. Let me deal with it. I was bound by that. Let me deal with it. So, ladies, taking on what he just said. All right, where he going? Do you think that you should like look a particular way when you come out the house?
I disagree.
So you should just you should just look.
I disagree. I completely disagree.
Rebuke me because I don't.
You have to come out of the house looking your best. Like you can't expect this man to be like, oh, her heart is so pure. I love her.
Yes.
Like if you was busted, I'm not like, oh, his heart is fine. I'm like, no, this dude is fine.
Right. Because this is the thing. Like I'm gonna tell you something. I remember growing up and I would have to go to Walmart. I was going to Walmart and I just had on a polo tee, but it was wrinkled. Got to ride the dryer. And my grandma told me, don't you ever go out the house like that.
Yeah.
And she made me go up, take that wrinkled shirt off, and iron it. She said, because you never know who's looking at you.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. And I honestly think, because this is the thing, you can't expect somebody to have the spiritual eyes you have.
Exactly.
People can't see your heart.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have that Samuel experience. Remember when Samuel came to Jesse's house looking for David, God said, don't look at the outer appearance, look at the heart. Samuel was a prophet.
Right.
Everybody ain't no prophet out here.
Yes.
So when they see you, I feel like there needs to be some type of like presentation.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yourself, but not dressing for the.
I agree though. I agree. And I think that's the fine line.
Yeah.
I think that like you need to go out and have an understanding of who you are.
Yes.
Like you need to dress for yourself.
And I think that's why I said no, because I feel like we had a conversation about this one time, and I think we might have disagreed on this. Now, granted, it depends on like, if you're talking about I'm going out of the house with a bonnet on my head, wrinkled clothes, and all this other stuff, like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, my mother would wring my neck if she knew I did something like that. I'm not doing that. But if you're talking about every time I leave the house, I got to be caked up, dolled up, I got to have my best on and all this other stuff. I'm not going to be doing all that, because what I'm doing all that for?
Right.
I ain't trying to go out of the house to necessarily be impressing nobody.
Right.
If I'm trying to go to the store to get me a little bag of rice.
She said to the store. She said to the store. She said to the store.
What you about to stop?
You got it, joking.
Give me a little bag of rice.
Right.
I'm just trying to go to the store, give me a bag of rice, and I'm trying to go home.
Right.
I'm not trying to be, not saying that it can't. Lord, I'm not saying that it can't.
Right.
But I'm just simply saying that's not like my purpose. So
I feel
sometimes
it.
if
I
I'm
feel
just
it.
sliding out the house and I'm coming back, and then also too, because we talked about this, and I say this in the most humble way that I can. Growing up, being told that all the time, you're such a beautiful woman, you're such a beautiful woman, you're such a beautiful woman.
Right.
I'm expected to hold a certain standard, and I don't live by nobody else's standard but mine.
Right.
So it's not saying that I'm trying to make myself ugly. It's
Right.
just simply saying that I feel comfortable not having
Right. Yeah.
X, Y,
The
Z.
whole makeup
I
shebang.
want
And I agree. I'm not saying like a whole makeup shebang, but I think there is a level of presentation.
Yeah.
So for example, like because this is the thing, like like for example, if I wear a sweatsuit, it's gonna be coordinated. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be coordinated. And my sneakers gonna be, listen, my grandpa taught me that if a man don't wash his shoes, he don't wash his tail. I'm for real. My grandpa taught me that. If a man don't wash his shoes, he don't clean his tail. I'm just being honest. I took that to the grave with me. So when I come out the house, I'm scrubbing my joint because I'm gonna let you know I wash my behind. I'm just being for real. But I agree though. I do think the balance is to what everybody is saying that is that you have to have an appreciation for yourself.
Yes.
You have to have an appreciation for yourself, and you have to appreciate yourself before anybody else can appreciate you.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing, and we'll end it on this. If there's one thing that you could encourage anybody at home who's watching this, there's one thing you could say about your experience being saved and single. What would it be?
I would say learn to find intimacy with other people. So like your friends, your family, tap into that. Like, especially because like singleness can feel lonely at times.
Yeah, that's good.
So like learning to have that those connections with those people,
Yeah.
whether it be your friends, your family, mentors, whatever, knowing that you can find intimacy in them as well, so that when you do find somebody, when you get married, you're not looking to them as that only source
That's
of
good.
like, intimacy.
Yeah.
That's
So,
good.
like,
That's good.
tapping into
That's
the
good.
community.
I think mine would be learn to see yourself for who you are
That's good.
and literally like strip yourself completely down. Every wrong that you think you've done, all the ugly that you think you're made of, see it and love on it. Love every single piece of it, because you're not going to truly love yourself until you love the ugliness.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
forgive yourself.
That's good. That's good.
You can't move on.
That's good. And the only way you'll be able to forgive yourself is when you humble yourself and receive the forgiveness of Christ. You know, because I think when people, because I get it. When we say stuff like, I can't believe I did that. Well, why don't you believe it?
Right.
Do you not? Because when people say, I can't believe I did that. Wait a minute, bro. You know, without Jesus, you some trash.
Right.
That's why I used to say to myself,
Right.
like, it's like, man, I can't believe I did this again. It's like, no, you're going to do that again if you keep depending on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that's something that's a conversation I have with myself. Anybody else? Last thing.
I would say like find small ways to celebrate your singleness. Like so
That's dope.
That helps me be
Yeah.
present because like I'm not where I was like 5 years ago. Like when I
That's
was like
dope.
5 years ago single me, like whew, she needed help.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm like, wow, girl, you out here encouraging your friends, giving like practical advice, you giving marriage advice. Like,
That's dope.
like so you have to celebrate and like so I'm just really present and like I like to document my progress.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good, man. That's good. Everybody good? Everybody straight? Listen, this was amazing. This was really dope. I think we might have to do a part 2.
I think so.
I think we're gonna have to do a part 2. So listen. Party 1, part 2 is coming soon. Can we say that? I think so. Listen, for anybody
Hottest mixtape.
for anybody who is out there listening and you are single, understand that your value and your worth is not in your status, it's in Christ. And I hope that you can take anything from this whole piece of content and just realize that, man, you have to love who you are, where you are, and you have to find Jesus in the midst of everything around you. So thank you all for being tuned in. Thank y'all for being here. It was amazing. I love y'all. Y'all stay tuned right here.